Hi, BookTube. I have my cat here with me. He's giving you the stink eye. Don't give him the stink eye. Be nice. Be nice to the camera. Hey, be nice to the camera. He's probably not gonna stay long, so I'd say he and I are here to talk about, but I'm here today to talk about the best thing I did for my reading in 2024. So, overall, I don't really feel good about how my reading went in 2024. I've talked about that before. I had a slump. I didn't feel like I was finishing anything. I still have a stack of books that I started in 2024 but did not finish. I failed on my goals big time. I didn't even track my reading past a certain point. And then August came and I just thought, I'm just going to read a poem a day. And so I did. There were a few days where I didn't read any, but for most part, I read a poem every day since August. And the reasons I wanted to do this are multitudinous. I wanted to get back to my roots, basically. I've always loved poetry, because of course most kids, when I started reading, I was reading Dr. Seuss, and then I got really into Shel Silverstein, and I even began seriously writing poetry, without it being a school project in the 8th grade. And then in high school, I found William Blake and I fell in love. So I'm going to go on a bit of a tangent to kind of explain something. So Shrek, the movie Shrek, is the reason I specialized in romantic literature in university. So you can see like the domino effect. Shrek, me getting a Bachelor of Arts in specialized honors English. And the specialized honors is romantic literature. I spent, 4 years intensely studying this period, all because of that giant green ogre. Can explain a bit more. So, 2001, 14-year-old Courtney, yeah, I'm that old, see Shrek. I download the soundtrack on Napster. Do you remember Napster? I fell in love with Rufus Wainwright's version of Hallelujah on the soundtrack there. And so I looked for more songs by Rufus Wainwright on LimeWire. So for all you youngins who have never had to pirate music because of Spotify and YouTube now, where you can find any music you want to listen to for almost free, LimeWire was like a gold mine. It was so easy to find really obscure music. It was also a little like Russian roulette in that 90% of the time you were getting the song you're looking for, but 10% of the time you were getting some really weird porn or a virus. And it was there that I discovered Rufus Wainwright singing London, the poem by William Blake. And because I loved Rufus Wainwright, and Rufus Wainwright did a William Blake song, I looked further into William Blake, and I decided at that time to dedicate my life to reading poetry. So when I say I love poetry, I really love poetry. Another reason for reading a poem a day is because you can read a poem in a very short amount of time. And I was looking for the reading version of short form content. So poetry was the TikTok of reading. I know some people are going to be upset about that, but yeah. Because there's good TikToks and there's bad TikToks and there's good poems and there's bad poems, and you just have fun along the way. You get that dopamine hit within 5 minutes, unless you're reading a really long poem. Some poems are rather long, but most poems, less than a page long. So when I got into a bad slump last year, feeling really stressed about not finishing books, finishing poems helped, taper that feeling a little. And I also love analyzing and annotating poems, and larger works too, but the poems were easy to do because I have that history. I'm not saying it's easy to analyze poems. I'm saying my history and my degree and my love of poetry and the amount of time I've been doing it has made it easy for me to analyze poems. So yeah, the result was that I read a lot of poems in 2024, and I felt good about engaging with poetry again. It's really not much deeper than that. It made me feel accomplished, and I like that. And I'd like to continue doing this in 2025. And the plan is to kind of bring you guys along with me with some of that. So I hope maybe like once a month, maybe do a poetry analysis in what I call in real time. So it's not a live stream, but it's like an unedited video of me just analyzing a poem without any editing. So that's my plans going forward with poetry. Let me know your favorite poem. Maybe I'll get around to it in 2025. I have a lot of poetry anthologies. They're all down on this bottom shelf over here. So I do have a lot of like physical things to work through, but recommend me some and I might look into it. Thank you for watching.